The Jayhawk Network is sponsored by Equity Bank. No ATM fees ever at equitybank.com. And the Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition remind you to buckle up, eliminate distracted driving. And if you've been drinking, find a sober ride home. True Blue Jayhawks don't drink and drive. The next man needs a long list of introductions. He's a national champion, former Jayhawk player, an author, and also with Dave Stewart, part of Game Day, Jayhawk Game Day Live for the past 8 years. He joins us now. Jeff, it's great to see you. And
Thank you.
We don't get to see each other a lot because we do the same thing.
Yeah, a few minutes. Yeah, a few minutes kind of separated, but absolutely doing the same thing. And been around a long time, known you a long time, and I appreciate you having me on.
Well, I have to bring up my wife because she is a book snob. She doesn't read sports books. And you know, she's mostly Michener and all the top authors. I don't know why she grabbed your book over the weekend, because I'm doing games like every day for the past week. But I think it's the title, Without You, a story of thanks and appreciation. And I think that's what grabbed her attention. And she read your book, and she absolutely fell in love with it and got me to read it today, because it's not just a sports book. It has a lot to do with sharing struggles and truths and growing through adversity. And you can read it in a day. It's just a great read. So congratulations.
Thank you. And I appreciate you saying that. And I really appreciate her saying that and really hearing the story, because that was really the mission, was not to create another day in the life of a KU basketball player book. I mean, let's face it, that was 30 years ago, been there and done that. And not to be a look at me type of a deal. But we all have our struggles. We all have our highs and lows. And really the message was, for me, starting with my parents, and my mom has since passed, but starting with my dad, to give thanks where thanks are due, give credit where credit is due, and a lot of us, through good and bad, have learned a lot of lessons and gotten to where we are by the help of a lot of other people, and that was really the message behind it.
Yeah, and it's really your honesty, the fact that, you know, national champions, they have issues too to work through, and you were able to do that and overcome a stage 4 cancer, a divorce, and struggles in business.
Yep.
And you've come out the other end.
Yeah, well, and again, I guarantee if you gave a questionnaire to a lot of people in this building tonight, they all have their own types of struggles, and that's really the idea behind it. Is just because you have them doesn't mean that you're alone going through them, and if you have been through them, think about the people that help you get there. And for me, there was a lot of people. I mean, you know, coaches and teammates, parents, doctors, obviously, and then my family, my kids, and to come out on the other end. And, you know, every day is a struggle, and not literally, but, you know, life is going to keep coming, and you've got to be willing to kind of take a look at yourself and look at what you've been through, and every once in a while give thanks to where it's necessary, and that was the mission.
I didn't play basketball here, but I'm a historian of Kansas basketball, and you arguably one of the best shooting teams in Jayhawk history, and you were one of the best shooters 1990. But just talk about that, the run through Shaq and the you know, in the early season tournament and your adventures.
Yeah, well, obviously it was a kind of a whirlwind. You know, I wasn't highly recruited, got an opportunity, and really Steve Simons, my high school coaches, with Larry Brown is how I got here. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten here in today's day and age because of where I was, but to play for Coach Brown and to go through all that and to ride Danny's coattails to a championship, and so blessed to have Coach Williams come in and give me an opportunity to continue to play. And you know, that year we were a very good team. Unlike this year's team, we found our stride very early, and were able to play at a very high level early on. This team will get there. I really do believe that they will, but we got there early, and we played as a team and played off each other. Basketball was different then. It was more pass and cut, pass the screen versus all the ball screens and isolation stuff these days. But I benefited from that because I couldn't dribble. I could shoot, and I could pass, and I could guard, and knew how to play. But you know, you have to understand what you're good at, what you can't do, and I was fortunate enough to figure that out at an early age.
Well, honestly, and being totally honest, it's a great book, and it's a great read, and it's not just a sports book. You can't put it down. Without You, a story that's about thanks and appreciation by Jeff Gueldner, who's now an author, add that to national champion and an analyst. Great job. We appreciate you coming by.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to give credit to Jeff Bolig. Obviously, he had played such a huge role in bringing my thoughts and putting them to paper. I created my own website, jeffgueldner.com. I wanted to stay in control. I didn't want to give all my money to Jeff Bezos. You know, he's got plenty at Amazon. So But I want to say this, Dave, before I go. My whole mission started with my dad, and he was the first one who got a chance to read it. He called me crying and really couldn't express his emotions.
Wow.
And I made it, and that was 2 weeks ago. And I basically said at that point, I don't care if I sell a book. Mission accomplished. And it's all gravy now. But like I said, JeffGueldner.com. We'll do the best we can, and hopefully everybody enjoys it as you and your family have.
All right, Jeff. Thanks for coming by, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
I'm sure you won't need it. It's going to sell.
Thank you.
All right, we'll come back with more. It's going to be Jeremy Case when we return to the Fieldhouse on the Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.